A finding now says the Earth's oceans are actually changing color, and changing climate is probably to be blamed here. According to a study, the deep blue sea is becoming steadily greener. The regions in low latitudes and near the equator are the most affected. Changes in the plankton population is being referred to as the reason behind the sea getting greener. This is specifically from the photosynthesizing phytoplankton, which like plants contain the green pigment chlorophyll. The changes have been detected over 56% of the world's oceans, an area greater than all of the land on Earth. Now, in most areas, there's a clear greening effect. It's visible. One can see it very, very clearly. But there are also places where red or blue colorings are rising or falling. Scientists say that these changes are not major or a threat to the ecosystem. They are subtle for now, but they are evidence enough that human activity is likely affecting large parts of the global biosphere in a way that hasn't been understood yet. This discovery by the scientists indicate that this change in color is another consequence of climate change. What is not clear at the present is the intensity of the changes and also what is happening inside the ocean to cause them.
Typhoon Doksuri batters Beijing. Look at the sheer force of it. A sprawling city surrounded with sinkholes and whole roads submerged. Typhoon Doksuri started gaining momentum just under 2 weeks ago, hitting the Philippines first before making landfall in the southeastern province of Fujian on Friday. Over the weekend, it headed northwards towards Beijing, where heavy rains brought by the remnants of the typhoon began pummeling the capital and surrounding areas. It's the worst flooding the city has seen for at least a decade. In some parts, more than 20 inches fell in just 24 hours. Food supplies now dropped by helicopters. The vulnerable scooped up in whichever way possible. Planes at Daxing International Airport grounded. Beijing is using a flood storage reservoir for the first time in 25 years. And in the east, more landslides in Fujian province. From above, what looked like toy cars. Life stood still, engulfed by muddy water. This is the 5th typhoon in China this year alone, and there's still another to come. It's called Khanun, and it's expected to hit the east of China in the coming days.
Queensland officials warned of devastating consequences once the fire ants can breach the state border. Officials got alarmed after the invasive species were detected on the Gold Coast last week, just 5.5 kilometers from the state border. The nest, found on private land, has been successfully destroyed. Authorities said it has been the closest detection ever made since they were first detected at the port of Brisbane in 2001. A biosecurity control order is now in place to prevent the movement of materials that could bring the ants inside the border. Originating from the lowland areas of South America, the aggressive fire ants are considered one of the world's worst invasive species, as they can cause significant damage to the environment, attack humans, and pose a threat to the economy. Their venom can also cause a severe reaction in hypersensitive individuals and are responsible for killing people in the southern half of the United States. Meanwhile, Australia's climate and lack of natural predators make it the perfect home for invasive species. Experts called for more government funding to eradicate the super pests and warned that the entry of fire ants in New South Wales would be worse than rabbits, cane toads, foxes, and feral cats combined.
It's a record you don't want to hold. But with wildfires ravaging Greece, Canada and Algeria and simultaneous heatwaves searing the Northern Hemisphere, climate scientists say it's virtually certain July 2023 will be Earth's hottest month on record, following in the footsteps of an already record-breaking June.
The era of global warming has ended, the era of global boiling has arrived. The air is unbreathable, the heat is unbearable, and the level of fossil fuel profits and climate inaction is unacceptable.
Data released by the World Meteorological Organization and Copernicus shows 21 of the 30 hottest days ever recorded happened this month.
Separate analysis out of Germany has estimated this month will finish 0.2 degrees higher than the current record set in July 2019. It's a figure that may not sound like much, but given it's a worldwide average, it means certain parts of the globe have experienced exceptional bouts of heat,
Fueling wildfires and prompting locals to look for relief any way they can. Even Antarctica during its winter has contributed to the record heat with unusually high temperatures. But with El Nino, a major driver in the world's climate, only just starting to develop, not even officially underway yet, according to Australia's Bureau of Meteorology, there are concerns this is only the beginning.
The worrying thing here is that we've got a very warm summer across the Northern Hemisphere, but the effects of the emerging El Nino haven't really been felt in terms of those global temperatures. And so when that does start to cut in, we'll see actually a continuation of this extraordinary hot weather.
A warning of more heat to come.